it's an adventure game on the iPhone. So we're looking at developing the story around that. And also someone with a Facebook social game, and we're developing a story around that. But the principle is always the same, really, and that is to find the story and to find how you can bridge the story from, like, let's say, what is their sort of core or the thing that they start with, and how do we tell the story on another platform in a way that will bring people over again. And so, for example, with the social game, with that game, there's such a rich story world, and I find sometimes, like particularly with these, and it's not an MMO, but often with that type of role-playing game, there's so much investment you have to do up front before you can actually get a lot of benefit from playing the game. You have to research all these different character types and so on, different powers and so on. And so, and their website had all this additional content, and what I've been doing with them is basically culling it and streaming it to say, right, let's go back to this model where let's go back to this type of idea. I know this is going to fit back to the beginning. So the two principles is, the first one is make your additional content satisfying in its own way. Because often what happens is people generate content and it feels like it's the stuff. If it was a film, it would have ended up on the cutting room floor. It feels like you're getting the director's cut, and it's often the producer's cut is the one that most people go with because it's not got that additional fat in. So just because you're taking that fat and putting it on a different platform doesn't make it any more rewarding. So so that's one thing. And then taking this model. So let's say the social game is here, but there's quite a bit of investment in actually getting in. So okay, you've got a few levels where you grind through. It's a bit like Mafia Wars, that type of thing. Where you grind through the first few levels again. But there's got some really great characters and so on, and they're not really coming out until later in the game. So what we're doing now is we're developing some short films, some stories. There's going to be an anthology, stuff that's really easy to consume in different snacks, so they take a lot less effort to get you hooked into the storybook. Now there will be people that want to just go straight to the game, I understand that, but this world is much richer than just the game. And so on their website what we've done is broke it down into something, I think it says something like watch, read, play. So right from the landing page, people can decide their path, which one they want to go into. So yeah, so the things I've looked at tended to be that. I've done one work with a brand looking at how we take basically a boring product and make it more interesting. And it's the same sort of thing there. You're coming up with a story that sort of tells that that will appeal to the consumer, will appeal to the audience. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's new to me. I'm just obviously seeing from my perspective and picking up the
What do you work in? What area?
We're launching a line of makeup brushes in the United States, and we don't have a huge budget, so video is kind of, video is going to be the platform we're trying to using tutorials. But thinking about this, I'm thinking, okay, we can maybe follow some makeup artists around and have them as characters almost, and say like, what's their life, and have little snippets of them riding the subway or going to their shoot and just following them, and then during the shoot, hey, what are you doing? What are you using? That kind of thing. So building it out, have more depth to these people instead of just like shooting you while you're doing makeup and that's all. You could have more like, who is Nicole today? What's her life? And here she's waking up, and now she's feeding her dog, and now she's getting her stuff ready and packing it up, and now she's off to her shoot. And it's more than just.
It's much more aspirational.
Yeah, it just has more depth. I don't really know.
But people will watch only the makeup part. That's the problem.
No, actually, I would think that actually the conversation around her life, because I mean, they say that ads are out and conversations in, right? it's actually the conversation around her life, or oh, this is what it is to be a makeup artist. You will hit a certain niche audience, and it could be really great. And then the rest of them might just go forward to the end.
Well, it could be kind of like, you said, the one of the videos. Well, this could be like additional content that we can consume. It's not necessarily something that is I don't know, it wouldn't be like right on the product page. It could be like within a blog, or you can have it as an additional side.
I mean, with something like that, so let's say there was no, if you didn't have a narrative, then it would feel like kind of DVD extras, you know, like they're kind of behind the scenes.
Right.
But if you had a story, more like one of these reality shows, like if it was a makeup artist trying out, like if you had a beginning, middle and end, so if there was a big contest or, you know, she was competing for something, so then people want to watch it because they want to know, is she going to, you know, is she going to win, is she going to survive?
Yeah, and that's when you talk about the bigness of something like that. It gets bigger and bigger.
The most popular makeup online are look like this star. And people say, oh, I want to do the makeup like that star. So they go look at that makeup.
I know that there's probably a US version, but in the UK there's this young girl who gives makeup tips, like do your eyes like Leona Lewis and stuff like that. And she's got, you know, sponsorship and all sorts.
It's crazy because it's all really gone to that user-generated video. So they have these gurus or these people on YouTube that are experts, and they'll have 2 million subscribers.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a place, I think, an opportunity for maybe a smaller one-time job company to take advantage of just regular people using the products.
And I think it's important to remember that those people don't get 2 million by accident. There is like a lot of effort behind it.
Oh, no doubt.
I know that this is you know, what I see is people come to me. I'm the director of marketing here at Spork. Asking me to, just make a viral video or make it. It's not just, it's not what it is. There's people with 2 million viewers or whatnot are busting their asses.
Oh yeah.
And it's still, you know, it looks user-generated, but there's a hell of a lot of pressure.
Right. No, I mean, it takes time, it takes their commitment and all that. But I guess what I mean to say by it is that, but they still have that viewership, and still, I guess, shows that that's maybe somehow people want to consume the content in that manner.
I get the impression even with viral videos, I mean, there's a massive graveyard of viral videos because they couldn't leverage, because they had no strategy like this. To keep the redundancy going, because the signal will just get lost in the noise, you know. It seems to me Transmedia, that's what it's attempting to do, to create some kind of anti-entropy in the info world. So that gives you the leverage to stay on top while everyone else sinks. Regardless of even if your stuff is good or not, you know, if you can just keep the signal going on and on and on, you know, I'm talking information theory here right now.
But you talked about the need to have punch, right? And if you don't have that narrative, that's really what I think where those things end. People have a short narrative and they don't know what to do with it.
Right, exactly.
Right. The ones that do survive is because they have more material up their sleeves. They have a narrative, or they have a next episode or something.
They worked on more material.
Right.
That's different.
That's not easy though. You need a kind of like small army of content creators and narrative.
That's probably our biggest kind of how do you get your head around it. You know, a lot of people have specialties and expertise in certain areas. This is kind of asking of them, well, now you have to be sort of an expert and produce really good content in many different areas that you've never even thought about before. Probably, or the novelist, you know, making about a video, right? He doesn't even know what he's talking about.
But a lot of agencies are beginning to really really used to do it.
You can afford an agency, for example. You know what I mean? This is, if I can have the resources to get this army, then I'm good to go. It's kind of feeling. You know, if I'm just me and my friends and we have this great concept, but we're also kind of just trying to get by, you know, and try to make our own signal and noise. That's a really difficult area to compete. I mean, it feels like a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of people, a lot of effort put into every kind of thing that we're thinking about doing. I'm trying to reconcile in my own head how somebody can get up to speed with their own ideas without having access to some of these larger resources.
I guess
if I'm a brand, I've got my marketing out there. I can just go ahead.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I agree as well, but I think there's a way of doing it as a guerrilla level with really smartly doing phases. What can I really do right now? And then growing it, and if you're actually really wanting to grow, that growth will start inviting hopefully funding, whether it's crowdfunding or VCs or funding, whatever, and then you just grow. But you have, that's why I was saying the macro and micro.
But the concept that I understand here is that I'm supposed to have this plan going into it, right? That's attaching that to the fact is kind of defeating the purpose in certain way.
But also being open to where things can plug in. And as you're walking down the path, be aware that, oh, I could do this quick little thing right here and you can plug it in. Just kind of keep your eyes.
But I think this also suggests some awareness of what that would be, right? A lot of people have no experience working in this kind of realm. Building something that has plugs ready to go for the future suggests that they know where those paths could possibly be. Right? I don't know what size hole, I don't know what size screw to put on it. I know I need a screw of some sort for something to bolt on later.
Something faster will be necessary somewhere in the next 7 or 8 weeks.
Sure.
Right.
But which faster?
Right.
And what's the path of that? And how do I discover that path without, spending too much?
But that's what Chris was saying about like the film world, where they're now trying to get this marketing guy, which ought to really be the producer, like the producer coming in from the beginning, because it used to be you made your film and then you threw it over to the distributor, but you let the distributor take care of it. But now the distributors are gone bust because of piracy. So you basically having to build in the distribution into the project right from the beginning, and that means where people used to have funding, make their film and then go, right, what do I do now? Now I need a whole new load of funding for distribution to get the funding up, to have your distribution and production funding all up front. And build it in.
So is creating this plug map a rich man's game?
No, I don't think so. No, I think it can be the opposite. So whereas people, they say sometimes people might struggle for years trying to get their feature film project off the ground, what they see is that with the resources they've got, they can set up a website, they can maybe do a comic book, so they're looking for cheaper ways to establish the storybook. And then when they, if it gets legs, then that can help them attract funding, or it can give them more confidence to go for it with a bigger project.
I'll even say I've got this short film that I'm actually working on, and I'm hoping to be able to have a whole Christmas tree full of plugs I'm going to put things into. And I know that I don't right now, but I think the mentality of going into a project and with the idea that I'm going to hope to be able to add to it, even if I don't add anything ever, at least I feel like my core story is actually stronger now. Even if I'm never able to do any things I hope, it's a richer story.
Because you had your plug map.
Well, because I've been thinking of it as I've been writing it, and as I've been kicking the story around, rewriting it, I've had this hope that I would be able to plug things into it. And if I don't ever, and I can't even go anywhere down that whole path, I'm still confident that my film is a better film, even if nothing ever comes more of it.
I guess my question then is, 5 years from now, if Transmedia really is the next wave, will it dominate entertainment as we know it, simply because it'll beat the noise